affected property owners. And again, we're acquiring, we're getting appraisals on these properties to negotiate with the property owners on the value for this. Using this easement, we won't be taking the land, but we will be bearing a force main in this land. Force main typically cannot be tapped into or used. It's used to convey sewage from a lift station to another gravity line. So this would not bring sanitary sewer service to these parcels. We've tried to lay this out in a way where it doesn't interfere with future development of this property. So when they do develop it at a future date, this force main on the land. It would be my recommendation that the village president clerk be authorized to execute its relocation order be filed with the Kenosha County Clerk and at the Register of Deeds.
So,
Second.
motion by Steve, second by Monica. Further discussion?
One question, is the property Bill Harmon property? Would it not be right here west, no, east of Springfield? Is a farm over there, right?
These are all farms.
Yeah, well, okay, that's Bill Harmon property.
No.
Got to
We
figure out
have
who.
Clausen, and we have, I'm sure there's a name, Jensen, and Ulmer.
Oh, Paul, I'm sorry. Okay, thank
If anybody has the opportunity, if you have cable, Scott and I think it's channel 163. They have the author of the book, Great Lakes Water Wars, and he goes into great detail about the diversion that the village did receive, and that was the radium in the water. I think thanks to having a great administrator, we were able to receive that diversion. And it was an addition that other communities wish they were. It solved a lot of health problems for us with radium, and it didn't hurt the village development-wise. Like I said, this is a part of achieving that diversion where we're going to now send those waters back into the other side, to Lake Michigan Basin from the Mississippi Basin. But his discussion on Channel 163 goes into great detail, and he talks quite a bit about Pleasant Prairie and how that equates to the rest of the Great Lakes, and how other communities have also tried to do this, but not quite with the same success as Pleasant Prairie. So something to watch if you have the time. We have a motion, second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So carries. That moves us to item E, and that is the ordinance to amend section 180-17 of the municipal code relating to automatic fire sprinkler, fire suppression, fire alarm systems, fire hydrants, storage tanks, and fire inspection fee structure.
Chairman, Mr. President, this is an ordinance prepared by the fire department to modify the permit fees as part of the fiscal 2008 budget. Some of these fees are driven by mechanical engineers that we contract with to evaluate and prepare these inspections. The other ones are by the fire department. And as you can see in the schedule, we've adjusted those fees to reflect the cost of either having us do it or having a contractor at their rate perform these inspections. The recommendation that the ordinance amendment be adopted as presented.
Just as a note, at the U-Line dedication or announcement last week, there was somebody from a different fire department, and he took great notice of the fact that the sprinkler system in the U-Line building there, and commended the village on what we've done with that. And he says, you'd be surprised how many other communities, and I believe he's from the state of Illinois, that don't have that kind of fire suppression equipment in there, and it makes them shudder when he takes those large buildings like this without that kind of protection. So
we've done really well. The work that Chief Gilbert's done on fire sprinklers, day in, days out, is resident money, because every commercial building that's constructed with a sprinkler system that meets the use of that building is not considered a risk to the community, which means everyone's fire protection insurance fees that they pay on their home doesn't account for that. If you don't require the owner of a building that's going to use that building building for, in this case, Uline has a lot of cardboard and different things in there. That risk gets associated with the entire community, and you have to bear that as a community as a whole. In Pleasant Prairie, we require that those improvements be undertaken by each individual commercial, manufacturing, and industrial user, so that cost, that risk is not spread across the entire village, and everybody pays their fire insurance rate. So we definitely have some major users and major risks out there, and they're all sprinkled, and it's safe for the, it saves the community money, plus it saves the guys that have to go in there with the problem.
I distinctly remember when we were adopting the sprinkler ordinance, and one of the biggest reasons that at least I felt was the protection of the building. More important was the protection of the people responding to fire, give them a chance, to get a head start on these things. It's one thing to protect the property, which is important, but more importantly is to protect the lives that are trying to save the building. And I would move approval of the ordinance.
Second. Motion by Mike, second by Steve. Any other discussion?
You mentioned, John, you mentioned Illinois. I remember 2-3 years ago, maybe you'll remember, a warehouse in Belton Park, very close to the border, Cal Fire. And they take off sprinkler system. So that proves we're doing the right thing. See if we're doing a good job.
No further discussion. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. That brings us to item F, and that's consider the design service agreement with Crystal Snyder. This is for the 80th Street Utility and Road Construction Project.
Mr. President, this is a proposed agreement with between the Village of Pleasant Prairie and Crystal Snyder for engineering professional consulting services with the 80th Street project that we talked about with relocation orders. The project's going to involve 1,300 feet of 8-inch sanitary sewer, 1,200 feet of 12-inch water main, 1,700 feet of storm sewer, and 49-foot back-to-back curb and gutter road. We're going to modify, this project has already been designed, but there is going to be some design modifications that are preparing of this. They're also providing construction-related services in the project. Their estimate for the professional services in this agreement is $26,000 for one lump sum. My recommendation, and this would be paid for by the project. Part of this is a bond fund project under general fund, but there is sewer and water work that's taking place on it. And if you get back to the map, it shows relocation order. There's going to be a number of properties that will be specially assessed for this improvement, and we'll make those properties buildable. Up to this point, they haven't been buildable. So, the bond will be paid for in part by property taxes, but in a larger part by special assessments that affect the property owners on the project. So I recommend that the village clerk and president be authorized to enter an agreement with Crystal Snyder.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Monica, second by Steve. Further discussion on this item.
I got a question for Mike. Mike, why not to take the sewer and the water from the city?
Sewer and water in the 80th are in the city sewer service and water services.
Other comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carries. Brings us to item G, and that is consider the disallowance of claim by Jamie Skensville. This is for an injury at Ice Place.
Mr. President, we've received a claim from Jamie Skinsel for injuries related to a skating accident during free skate at the Lake Redplex, the amount of $2,680.49. We referred this to the insurance company who's investigated it. Based on the results of their investigation, they're recommending that the village deny the claim as presented. I concur with their recommendation, and I recommend that the board deny the claim as presented.